Hello, my name is Riley and I am getting married in September of this year. So we sent out our save the dates in like February, but I wanted to do a dedicated video where I talked about where I got my save the dates, how I designed them, just like the whole process and how much everything actually cost, because I had a line item in my budget, and even though I kind of like skimped on a few things, I still ended up going over. So I feel like it's something that is just good to see like how other people do it and how they save money or spend money, like what they choose to pay attention to and all of that. Like I said, I wanted to do a very simple, I kind of like skimmed on a couple of details for the save the date because I would much rather put my resources being not only money but time and patience into the invites, since those are kind of like the main thing, and the save the date is really just get people to save the date. I didn't think it needed to be super extra and have all like the different like textures and all of that. I really just did a simple double-sided card with a photo from our engagement shoot. I knew I wanted it to be really simple, and I didn't want it to be OD. Like, it didn't need to be OD. I really just wanted something that people could put on their fridge and remember our date, obviously. So the way that I did it, I did a full bleed double-sided and I got them printed at Costco. I ordered 100 save the dates. We ended up sending out like 96 of them. I think I only have 4 left because a lot of we're inviting a lot of family, obviously, but a lot of our friends are just like a single household. So we did have to send a lot of these out. But the way I did it was I had the front, which was just meant to be the date and the photo of us. But the way that I placed it so that on the back in the same exact spot is the date on the other side. So I thought that was a cute detail that probably no one else but me as a designer kind of realized. And that's another thing that I want to bring up, is that I've seen a bunch of people use Canva and buy Etsy templates and things like that to actually get the design of their save the date. I am a designer, so I just designed this in InDesign, which is just like a print program that it's like a professional program. If anyone is watching this and they like the design of my save the date, and it is very kind of like particular to our names, so because Jared and I both have 5 letters in our name, it just kind of like works out and it feels really symmetrical and everything. So that's something to keep in mind, like it's designed for our names. But if anyone does like this layout and wants me to do it for them, it literally would take me 2 seconds to drop your image in and like change the date and the names. So I could like literally do that for you. Just, leave me a comment or whatever and I could do that. But anyways, so once you get a PDF or a JPEG or whatever of your design, that's like where you need to get to this point. I uploaded that to Costco's photo center. I actually did do a test print before I ordered the actual ones. This was the test one, and as you can see, the color of the photo of the black and white, I had to do like a couple different versions and test it out because it came out really dark and really bluish. So I had to play with my file a little bit to get it to this point, but I have that all figured out now, so we're good to go. And it actually is a good thing that I did a test print as well, because I literally misspelled invitation in this one. So we just won't talk about that. I thought it was like, oh, I'll have like so many extras because like in case we need to send out the bad ones, it's fine. But I literally have a misspelling. We can't send those out. So that is the print. So I selected the 5x7 double-sided choose your own design, and this is a pretty decent weight of cardstock. It by no means is like the nicest, but it has a little bit of texture to it. It's nice. It's not like the same as printing it like at a Walgreens or something like that. They do have pretty good paper. And the big advantage I saw to Costco for the price is that they actually will do your envelopes as well. And that was something that was really, for whatever reason, just like psyching me out. I was like, I cannot hand address all these envelopes. And I thought about it for a while because there's 3 different options pretty much you can do for your envelopes through Costco. You can do a completely blank one and do the return address and the recipient address completely yourself. I was absolutely not doing that. Went ahead and crossed out our address. There is the option where you can get completely blank on the front, so you would be filling in the recipient address and then do your return address on the back. I thought that this was the option I was going to do, and then I was going to like hand address and like learn calligraphy overnight or something, because I was like, oh, that's always my attitude about things. I'm like, oh, I can just learn it, it's fine, it's no big deal. But it was more so the time and the money that I would have to put into those supplies. I didn't think that the juice was worth the squeeze. So the option that we ended up going with for the save the dates in particular is the option where they literally print everything on the front for you. And I was fine with that. The only like downside of it is that the text is just like a super basic system font, so it doesn't look very special by any means. But once again, for the save the dates, I was just not tripping over like how fancy they were. I just wanted people to literally save the date. That was my priority. Honestly, the envelope, people just like rip, they see the thing, they see the envelope, they get excited, they rip it open, and they put this on their fridge. This is what ends up on their fridge. So I just like wasn't too worried about the envelopes as far as like the things that were gonna save me time and money. So this was the option we ended up going with. But to make it like a tiny bit more special for the people that do notice the details, I did want to add a little something to the flap of our envelope. So what I did was order a custom embosser. It looks like this off of Etsy. I want to say it came out to like 40 something or like 50. And I think that it's worth it because not only did I use it for the save the dates, but I plan on using this for a couple of other kind of stationery items. I'm still working out exactly what's going into my invite, but I'm sure I can use this there as well. If not on the envelope, on like one of the cards or something. And I can also use it for like paper at the actual wedding as well. Like if I wanted to emboss the menus or something like that. Like there's a bunch of possibilities for this, and also I just think it's cute and to me it was worth it because it adds just like a little bit of something, but it's a really quick process for me because I thought about doing like wax seals and like all this stuff, and like that stuff is just like so messy and so time consuming, whereas doing this takes 5 seconds, and I'll show you exactly how I do it here in a sec. I just have to move the camera. So on addresses, the way that you get them in the system with Costco, you have to add them to your address book. And for whatever reason, this took me the longest time because we had all of our addresses, but I needed to get them into a format. In order to import them into Costco, you have to get them into a format, and eventually I figured it out. I'm just not like an Excel whiz, but the way that we got all of our addresses on the computer to begin with was we created a Google form. This was like way in advance that we did this because we wanted to go ahead and get the ball rolling, because I know that a lot of people struggle just with like getting the addresses of everybody. So some point last year, like before Christmas, we sent out a Google form link. It was just called address book. I'll flip up a little screen recording of it, but it basically just said, hey, like if you're getting this, you're a loved one and we want to have your contact information just in case, whatever. Had them fill out their address, their email address, their phone number, if they were going to be at this address for the next 12 months or not, and then like any notes for them to say anything else. If I were to go back and do this again, I would not just have a box for address. You have to be really explicit with people and say street address, city, state, zip code, because people will just assume that you know their city and their zip code, and we don't, okay? And it's not for me knowing the address, the computer needs to read the address. So it was kind of annoying because I had to go back in and like literally like find people's zip code and stuff and like Google their address and blah, blah, blah. That was really time consuming. So if I were to go back, I would make it very, very clear. But anyways, I then had to take all that information from the Excel that it spits it into and create my own Excel that's formatted in the way that Costco, like their system wants to read the addresses. So you need like a separate column for the street address versus the like city, state, blah, blah, blah. So once you get that set up, it's really easy to import it. You do need to go through and like double check everything. I would definitely recommend that because we had 3 or 4 say the dates get returned to sender because they were missing like the apartment number or something like that. So just make sure that you're going through and really double checking and cross-referencing, because it's just, you're gonna have to pay for postage again, and it's really annoying. So anyways, that is the address situation. So for getting 100 of these save the dates and the pre-printed envelopes, I paid $76 or something like that. Let me tell you exactly. And they sell them in packs of 25. So basically I got 4 packs. I believe each pack is like $16.99 or something like that for the type that I got. Yeah, so my total with shipping was $5.99 too. So my total was $76.90, which I think is really good, especially compared to sites that I looked at and the quantity that we had. Since we did have 100, it was, I mean, that's kind of like on the higher end. So $76.90 for the actual save the dates. Now let me look up how much exactly my embosser was. So I got, and I'll link it, but I got my embosser from the Etsy shop Heirloom Seals Co. And I paid, with shipping and everything and tax, it was $60 even, $60.47. So once again, I think it was worth it. It's just so cute. I thought it was worth it, and it just like gives it a little bit more of like a higher end feel to it. And then what you don't think about is the cost of postage. And so everyone says you're supposed to go and get the love stamps for save the dates and invitations and everything. I will do that for the invitations, but the cost, it really like will cost you 40 bucks more just to get a different design. For the save the dates, we were like cutting, once again, no one looks at the envelope, like unfortunately, and I put effort into the envelope a little bit, but no one's really looking. So we ended up getting just the regular USA, which I don't feel great about that, but it's whatever. It is the US postal system. The USA flag stamps, those are the cheapest ones. And the best place that I found to get them was actually Walmart. So let me pull up my receipt from there and tell you exactly how much it was. Okay, so I paid exactly $63 for 5 packs of 20 stamps. So they were $12.60 a piece. And that got me 100 stamps, which was basically exactly how many I needed. I have one extra right now, and I think it's a save the date that has to get sent out anyway. So yeah, 100 stamps. So $63 plus the 76. I'm just gonna round this. So 63 plus 60 for the thing plus 76. So I spent $199 altogether. So like, let's call it 200. And like I said, we had 100 save the dates, so $2 a piece, which I really don't think is bad. You don't need this. This was just me being extra. It's the one little extra thing that I did. I didn't do a wax seal. I didn't do a vellum jacket. I didn't do anything crazy, so I feel like this is fine. So you could technically get that down to, let's do 200 minus 60 divided by 100. So yeah, you could get it down to $1.40 per save the date. If you do it the same way as me, but people don't talk about the postage. The postage really adds a decent chunk. So I'm gonna show you how I do the embosser real quick. So this was our save the date. Just wanna kind of like show it off once again. It's so cute, I love it. But anyways, also this is the typeface that we're gonna be using for our signage at the weddings. That way everything is still going to match. I have a little cursive font that I use for my bridesmaids proposal boxes, and I did a whole video on my bridesmaids proposal boxes as well with like everything that I used linked. But that way I have that option. I think I might stick with just these two typefaces just to keep it super modern and clean, because I feel like the cursive can get it's a little played out. But anyways, so that's what the save the date looks like. This is the envelope that we used. We chose the option that had the return address and our address just pre-printed, so we didn't have to worry about it. But that means that the back of the flap of the envelope is blank, and I just wanted to have a little moment here. So what I did is took the embosser, and this is kind of the only hard part, is that you really have to line it up and make sure that it's straight. There's not really like a guideline, but I basically just try to make sure, like, I don't know, I just eyeballed it. I didn't really fuss over it that bad, but there's a line up here that you can kind of try to make sure that it's parallel to the top of your envelope. And from there you should be good. But you just do that. This one might not be perfect, but you just squeeze, and then you have, it is a little crooked, don't worry about that. And you have a little embossing on the back. And so the way that ours is, it's literally just our initials with a little line in between it, and then it says Riley and Jared, September 23rd, 2023, which is our wedding date, obviously. And so that was on this side whenever they actually opened the envelope. I don't know how many people actually noticed it, but I thought it was worth it. So that is everything that I did for our save the dates. We chucked them in the mail and said, you know, hope they find their owners and hope everyone knows that they're gonna get an invite eventually. It felt weird like throwing them in the mailbox, to be honest, but it was actually kind of a relief as well because it had been stressing me out. But it really does not need to be that tall of a task. Figure out how you want to do your design, get it uploaded, get it printed, do a test print just in case, check your spelling, and then you should be good to go. I definitely recommend doing the pre-printed addresses. It is just not worth it for the save the date to me to like go through all these hoops to make it super fancy. Like, it's fine. No one keeps the envelope. No one's keeping your envelope, I promise. Like I said, I had a video very similar where I did like a full breakdown of me doing my bridesmaids proposal boxes if you're interested in that. And I will be doing a video with all the details on how I'm gonna be doing my actual invites. So keep your eyes peeled for that as well, and subscribe if you're looking for this particular type of content. I am a little less than 6 months out. I just posted a video that details me kind of going through my DIY decor journey. So I've been purchasing a lot of stuff for that and just like storing it honestly in this room off camera where you can't see it. I have like stacks and stacks of boxes of stuff. I am doing a lot of the wedding planning, not only the planning, but like the execution of the wedding myself, because I just think that I'm very capable, and I think that my vision is clear enough and I know what I want, and it's just not only gonna save me money, but kind of save me time in the long run because I don't have to like communicate to vendors and others exactly what my vision is because I just have it in my head. But yeah, if there's any particular things that you guys wanna see, just feel free to let me know, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.